Today we're talking subconscious, unconscious mind. How do we access that mind, and how do we like make that mind conscious? So how's everybody doing today? Hopefully everybody's doing great today. Good to see all you guys doing today. Let's see here. Let's get my I'll turn off the notifications here so that while I'm on here we don't get interrupted, you know. How everybody good. So how's everybody doing today? Good. Good to see you guys here. So let's see what we have here. All right. Good. How's everybody doing? First time being early. Yes. Hello. Good morning. Hello from Sweden. Hey, what going on? So you love the affirmations. Yes, guys. So these affirmations and these new subliminals I'm putting up, it's all due to you guys. So thank you, you guys. You know who you are, for helping me. So it's members like you that's been creating these beautiful subliminals for me and these affirmations. So you guys have really chipped in to help. So good job on you guys helping out. So it's like a family thing. We're all doing to help each other, right? How are you guys doing today? All right. So I want to talk subconscious because I've been getting a lot of questions about subconscious mind and how it works. So the thing you got to understand is the subconscious is an impressionable mind. It's something we have to do consistently. It's a repetitive mind. You want to impress subconscious. So that means it's something you have to continue to do over and over again. How you doing from Toronto? Bro, please talk about how to get to get the person you love be in relationship with you. Okay, when it comes to relationships, get someone that you that you're feeling or want to have a relationship with. It really comes down to, are they compatible with you, or do they have the same feelings for you as you do for them? Not saying that they have to be in love with you, but they have to have some sort of attraction to you. And if the attraction is there, then you can get them, and you'll get them by just visualizing. If you can visualize and see that person as regular, then that will manifest for you. Mark, is it possible if I visualize to become a billionaire businessman and visualize the lifestyle I want, but right now I still don't know what business I have to do? All right, so when it comes to visualizing, you have to kind of be specific. You have to at least know in a broad area what you want. You don't have to know specifically like I gotta do this, but you gotta kind of have an area of what you desire. Now the thing is, you don't have to know how you're going to achieve that stuff. That's the thing about it. But you definitely have to kind of know, okay, this is what I desire, this is what I want, and then let the universe work it out for you. But you definitely have to have something. How long to visualize a scene? Visualizing a scene, it depends. When it comes to visualizing, it's all about quality versus quantity. That's my motto. Can I visualize the quality of my desires versus the quantity? So I'm visualizing more of a feeling, being there in the end, and then making it feel as natural as possible. Remember now, to visualize something, it has to be natural. You got to be in a natural state to visualize something. If it's not natural, then it's going to be you're going to be in fantasy. You don't want to be in fantasy when it comes to creating money. How can you tell how can you tell when your subconscious mind has been successfully programmed? Well, when your subconscious mind has been successfully programmed, your habits, how you feel, your mood, you'll start to see results in your life. You'll start to see things come in. Things will start to manifest for you. It's really that simple. You'll notice the emotions. Emotions are the key that your subconscious mind has accepted a program. It'll either start to show you evidence, You'll also meet a lot of synchronicities. You'll also experience a lot of new things, new. It's the simplest way I can put this for you. When your subconscious mind is fully acceptable, the number one thing that you will notice is an overall feeling of optimism and positivity. That's when the subconscious mind has really grasped the creative energy you're putting out. Okay? What we got here? You can always influence it. You can reprogram it anytime. It's always ready. Yes, that's the thing about the subconscious. It's also infinite. Remember, your subconscious can't get full. So you will always have room for improvement with the subconscious. Now, with that being said, though, the subconscious can be your greatest receiver, your greatest help. It could also be your greatest hindrance, because the thing about the subconscious, it's so illogical. So the thing that you have to understand when it comes to subconscious is the focusing, because we're constantly focusing. You see, our attention is being bought for every day. They're looking for your attention every day. We're being constantly bombarded with things in the environment for our attention. So it's our attention that drives our creation or our manifestation. So whenever we desire something, our minds are looking for evidence of that thing, especially your ego. So when your ego locks onto something, the subconscious also locks onto it. So the key to the subconscious comes down to one point. What are we using our conscious mind to focus on? What do we think about the most? Whatever we think about the most, that's affecting our subconscious mind. Okay? Now look, I'll say this. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh yeah, man, just be positive every day. It's impossible. I can't be positive every day. There's things going on in all of our lives. You know, you're going to go through peaks and valleys in your life, ups and downs. So yeah, I get that. But it's also important to know that it is what we focus on. And see, guys, a lot of things happen in our lives that we don't have control over, right? And because we don't have a control over it, it tends to affect our subconscious, because now our thoughts and our focus start to look at that thing. We start to think about, oh man, I'm going to get this. You know, we start to think the worst. And what does that create? It creates the anxiety. What does that create? It creates the negative thought that leads to depression. That leads to all these different things. Your body now starts to, feel you get cold sweats at night, wake you up, and all of that is being conditioned and controlled by your subconscious mind. See that? So someone just said something here. Someone just said, how important is gratitude to your manifestation? And I was just going to go in there. So a thing that you can counteract with negative thoughts and feelings are gratitude. If you try to find something to be grateful for, you will always have optimism in the subconscious. Because like I said, the thing about the mind is constantly worried. Your mind will always, look, you guys know this. When we think of something, let me ask you a question. When you think of something, don't you notice you always think of the worst? It's like your mind is like showing you the worst before the good, right? Happens to all of us. Why does the mind do that? Well, the reason the mind does that is because the mind needs regularity and the mind wants consistency. The mind doesn't like change, and the mind likes to keep the comfort zone. So the mind will put us in the fear and flight mode to protect us. Now, look, there's something interesting I want to mention. And this study has been done. The brain, guys, the brain, who we are, our brains, it just cares about survival. Happiness, peace, and tranquility are no aspects of inherent in the brain. The brain's primary job is just to keep you and me breathing and alive. The other part of it is up to us, creating happiness, being grateful. That's our conscious awareness. We have to cultivate that. Even though the brain has the ability to process that information, the brain doesn't come automatically and say, all right, I'm going to come with happiness. I'm going to come with all this stuff for you. No, we still have the responsibility to go out and do it ourselves. And that's what That's what I think a lot of us fail at. We think that, oh, my brain is supposed to make me happy. No, no, no. It's your responsibility. You have, that's why you have two minds. You have a conscious and a subconscious. And that's why you have the ability to be aware of it, right? Can you touch on the balance of detachment and aggressive momentum towards goals? Okay, yes, detachment. Um, Detachment is the biggest struggle we all will face. And the reason why we face detachment issues is because of the mind, the conscious mind. The conscious mind wants it, needs it, can't live without it. So when something wants it, needs it, can't live without it, it's going to create emotions in the subconscious. Now you're going to have all these feelings of desperation, doubt, panic, and worry because you feel you don't have it. The next thing the mind does is it paints a picture of what it would look like for you to have it or not to have it. Now the not to have it is where the problem of detachment comes in, because the mind says if you can't have it, your life will be a shambles. You won't succeed. You're a failure. You won't be complete. You can't find happiness. So that's detachment. That's the mind holding on. So that's attachment, right? So if you want to be detached from that state, you have to adopt a new mindset. And the mindset that I cultivate, that I use a lot now, is that, and it's, I mean, it's facts. Here, the truth is this: we are just borrowing everything in our experience. We don't own anything. That mindset changed my whole perception of life. It gives more freedom because you don't hold on to things. Because it's really true. If you think about it, when we leave here, all of us will leave here one day. We can't take our material possessions. We can't take anything with us. The only thing that we take with us is our own conscious awareness. All of our material possessions, all the things that we think will make us successful or happy, that can't come with us. So what do you do in the meantime? You just flow with it. You go in the experience of it. You enjoy it. You go from moment to moment to moment. And that will help you to cultivate the detachment, because then you understand that, all right, man, it's true. I really don't own anything. Think about it, guys. Technically, I've said this before. Even if you buy a house, you don't own a house. You paid cash out for the house. You never own the house, because what happened? What about the property taxes? If one day you can't pay the property taxes, the state comes and takes the land. See, you don't own anything. Even people, you can't make people love you the way they want. You can't make people do anything. They're just going to do their thing. They'll love you one day and they'll leave you the next day. So that's the thing about the mind with attachment or detachment. The mind wants this control that's just not there. There's no, we cannot control. Reality and everything is not a control state. It's an ebb and flow state, and we have to be aware of that. Now, check this out. In the mind, who you are, you're a conscious awareness being. So in your conscious mind, you become aware of who you are, of energy. See, your brain is the only reason you know you are here. Your spirit or your consciousness inhabits your brain. That's what gives you the feeling and the awareness of a self, of a person. When that goes, you go back out into the universe. So you can't be created or destroyed. So literally, we are all here just to observe, to experience, and be aware. That's what you have to understand. So you can't be tied up in anything. Because remember now, when I always talk about things, I always say what? Make things normal. See that? Why don't we teach these things in school? I'll leave that to you guys for debate, but I think you know why. Can you over visualize about something you want? No, you can't over visualize anything. What you can do, you can become over attached, and you don't want to be attached. You want to be detached. Detached is the state to be, not attached. See how it works? Key point. Detach. You gotta detach. Says the system will never teach this. How do you navigate the 3D while managing your desired state? That's a good one right there. So let's talk about that. 3D, 5D, and all that stuff. So in the 3D is where the ego or the lower self resides. In the 3D is the material aspect of reality. That's what we see as material stuff. Now, beyond the 3D is the other dimensions, the 5D. That's where everything comes in. Key point is nothing can come into the 3D before manifesting in the 5D. So the 5D and up is the original source of. So if you want to be in alignment with your authentic self, which is out of the 3D, then you have to make peace with 3D. In other words, when we are in a human form, right? So we're experiencing reality. We have nerves, we have all these things going on in our lives. So we're experiencing reality in a three-dimensional aspect. Now, because we're experiencing reality in a three-dimensional aspect, we're going to be faced with what? Emotional stuff. We're going to be up and down. You're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. You're going to have mood swings, you're going to be depressed, you're going to feel happy. There's a lot of stuff that's going to happen in our lives that's going to trigger us because we are all just humans, and that's the three-dimensional world. So while that's happening to us, this is where it's important for us to be aware of our state of being. So in other words, here's it again, gratitude. We have to find something to make us feel good in the 3D, or at least something to be optimistic. We have to practice the gratitude. Now, look, the brain is a very powerful machine. It's adaptable. With time, if you're doing this for the first time, you may see like, man, this ain't gonna work. It may seem like it's there, but trust me, the brain will adapt. Your brain can adapt to things. We see it all the time. People who go through traumatic stuff, they have accidents. Their brain over time can adapt. Okay? And when your brain can adapt, then the life will become better. So, but the brain only adapts when we start to practice it. So in the 3D world, to be tied with your desires, you have to be grateful for what you have, even if you don't have it. You have to like act as if you have it. And how do you act as if you have something? You act as if you have something by a feeling or an image or an expectation or a normality. Once it becomes normal, you'll get it. You know, I mean, the thing, man, the thing I'm understanding and learning about the mind, my mind and our minds, because we all have the same thing, is that our minds really can paint different pictures. Some of these pictures can make us happy. Some of these pictures can make us very sad. The mind, but if we allow the mind to do it, the mind will do it. And this is why it's so important. Like the, you know, we're all used to our comfort zone, right? We have things that go in our lives and it's nice and cool. But something's going to happen one day. It's going to interrupt our comfort zone. How adaptable are we? Can we adapt? You know what I mean? And that's the secret to do this thing. Hey Mark, do you think the Matrix control women more than men? That's an interesting question. I don't think so. I think the Matrix is equally controlling for all of us. I'll say this though, the Matrix primarily controls those who spend more time on it. And it doesn't matter man or woman, but it's the same process, because again, the Matrix does this through subconscious messages and programming. If you look at everything on your social media form, it's directed to an algorithm. Look guys, like right now, man, if you have your phone and you're talking about something, your phone picks it up, and next thing you know, if there's something going on in your life, you're sick or you're having something, you want to figure it out, you get all these ads on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube about what you're talking about. Fix this, fix it. So sometimes it's good to kind of detox from social media. Like, don't get into it too much, because it's set like that. It's set up to get your mind into the matrix. You know, me, you know, I have to be on social media because that's what I do. It's my platform. But what I do is I spend time on there just to post and communicate with you guys. I don't spend a lot of time scrolling, because when you start to scroll, that's when you start to get into issues, because now you start to look around and say, oh man, this is happening. And they start to bombard you with all these negative things that your subconscious soaks up. The subconscious soaks up. It tries to produce it in your reality. And then the body, see, the body now starts to get into that. Because the mind and the body, even though they're interconnected, the body can self replicate or self do itself from the mind. What do I mean by that? The body does its own thing. So even though you want your body to do something, it's going to do what it is. because the body has that program of the monkey mind, the what you call it, the survival, the fear and panic thing, and that's why we'll get emotional. We'll get all these anxieties and stuff because of the mind, the body. Hey Mark, images. Do we have to uh, imagine good ones all the time? Yeah, if it's something you want, it has to be something positive. You don't want to imagine negative images or things that are negative in your life, right? They're not gonna help you out in any way. You make sure you want to do something positive, something that's going to take you towards your goal, right? We have here, if everything according to quantum mechanics has one original source, then doesn't that mean evil originated from God? All right, now that's an interesting thing. So here's how it works. This is the interesting thing about that. Now, uh, God and devil, or whatever God and whatever you evil, good or bad, you have to understand what those are. Those are ideas. Okay, they're ideas that have been placed into it. Here's what we do know. Here's the fact that we do know. Okay, this is what we do know. We know that the universe began from nothing. Nothing is everything. So what do you mean by nothing? Let me see what I mean so you can understand. I'm just going to put it in this universe, in our universe, to just make, because this is going to be difficult to comprehend, but I'll make it as simple as possible. So we think as things with a beginning or an end, because we're human beings. Birth, middle, da-da-da, and we end. So everything for us we see in chronological order, beginning to end. The universe doesn't work that way. The universe doesn't have a beginning or end. It was just there. Okay? Energy cannot be created or destroyed. Okay, with that being said, let's talk about like our part of the universe. Our part of the universe came from another universe. Our part of the universe came from what's called a singularity, a single point that bumped in and created our part of the universe. But it was already there as the awareness. So you can make the argument that what God is, or what you call God, is called source energy, the universe. You can call the universe is experiencing itself as you, a human being. So you could say that you are God, the God particle, the God mind, because it turns out without the awareness of this universe, or without the awareness, nothing can exist. What is awareness? Our consciousness. So our consciousness gives us what? Ideas. Ideas are driven by what now? Society, what we make, religion, God, evil, Satan. So if you believe that God and the devil, then that's going to be your belief. That's going to be your conscious awareness. It's going to be your kind of experience. If you believe the universe is part of you experiencing itself, that's going to be your experience. But the key point to remember though is, make this point: the elements that created us, the atoms in our body, originated from the first star. And so everything that's in the star is in us. So we were created from that. So we are entangled with every part of the universe. You cannot not be entangled. Can you manifest out of thin air on command? If you wanted $10,000 right now, you could get it? No. It doesn't work that way. Let me explain how manifesting works. You can manifest things fast where it seems like it comes out of thin air because you have less resistance. But everything has a gestation. It takes what we call entropy for things to come in. Remember, it has to come from the other dimensions, the 5D, then it has to transmute into the 3D. So if you're talking about, can you instantly manifest $10,000? Yes, in the 5D. But it's going to take what you observe as time to come into the 3D. So technically you can, in the physical world, you cannot yet. It's going to take the gestation because it has to transmute from there. So what is the transmute part of that? Why does it take that time? That all has to do with the processing ability of your mind, your conscious mind. Your conscious mind processes information real slow. So slow looks like it's taking time. So that's why when someone says, I'm manifesting $10,000, you'll get it in a month, 2 months, even a week, but you cannot get it like that. Now, if someone says I manifest $10,000 like that, then That can happen, but more likely that happens because they have so much less resistance. It was something that was they already put out. But if you're just going to think of manifest $10,000, you can't. And that's how it works. And that's actually a protection, because that's a good thing, because our minds are constantly manifesting. So if you think about it, we always thinking about negative stuff. So if we start to think about what we don't want, we go manifest that real fast. So imagine everybody could manifest instantly. Your worst nightmare, your worst scenario, your worst experience, all that stuff will come into your life, and you'll be like, dang, most of us won't even be here. So that gestation serves as a protection or feedback to help us. Okay? So that's a good thing. So that hopefully that answered your question. Hey Mark, do you think about ET disclosure? Oh yes. I mean, I already know. I mean, you guys should know right now that the Earth, us, we have been engineered. If you don't know that, let me school you on that. So we have natural processes of evolution on every planet. So once the universe started, it has a self-correcting code. So everything follows a blueprint. All the planets evolve. Now remember, 13 point something billion years is this part, but we have other parts of the universe, what we call the unseen part of the universe. You know, the unobservable part of the universe where light hasn't come yet. So the universe is billions, trillions, infinite, and there's other dimensions of the universe. Bubble universe is parallel. So this, our part of the universe, there's other planets that that has a jump start of 5 billion years on us. So that means life actually evolved more on that side. So what happened is this: as we had different species of human beings, we had Homo erectus, Homo habilis, and then we had Homo sapiens. Okay, 3 different branches. Someone genetically altered Homo sapiens, which is us, because Homo habilis, Homo erectus, and Neanderthal, they didn't evolve the way Homo sapiens did. Homo sapiens took a leap by thousands of years, which would have taken millions of years. So we know that. We know that through gene therapy, chromosome number 2. They figured out it was genetically altered. So we know that there are other intelligent beings that has visited this planet and has altered genetically the map of our planet. How could it not be, guys? The universe is infinite. Lots of planets, lots of different civilizations. They're out there. So just don't think you're there. All right, let me run it home to you. I'm going to leave something for you to think, to show you that. Just check this out. I'm going to show you something that we were genetically altered in a way. Like, in other words, if we kept our natural way of development, we wouldn't look like this. Did you know that as human beings, this planet is actually hostile to us? We are the only animals that walk upright. That's not good on gravity. That's why we have back issues. All the other animals were made for this planet. They walk on 4 legs. How about the skin texture of our bodies? It's so fragile. We get burned. We get disease. All the animals have protection. How about the bacteria? Animals can eat anything they want. They never get sick. They were adapted to this planet. So it was like somebody took us and dropped us on this planet as an experiment, because we aren't actually made for this planet. We can see clearly our bones, our health, we're fragile. It's like this planet is hostile to us. We have to wear glasses to protect our eyes. We have to wear this to protect the sun. Our backs, after a certain age, you start hunching, you start getting old. Gravity compresses our body. So that's not our natural habitat. If you don't believe me, look at the animals around you. They adapted very well. They're in their air. The sun don't bother them. The cold don't bother them. They walk on 4 legs. Gravity doesn't bother them. So let that sink in, man. They don't talk about that. It's easy for you to go out there, get sick, get sunburned, you get all these diseases, because the pressure, the gravity of this earth wasn't made primarily for us. We're like visitors. See how that works? It's like we're almost GMO beings. Yep. And that's something I don't think people really think about and talk about. Like, you know, as beautiful as this planet is, there are even other super more habitable planets for us. that the gravity is less stress on our body. They found it. They looked out. They're called super Earths. The landscape is more like an archipelago, where it's more flat, more tropical. It's a bigger density, less gravity, better on your bones and your body, more oxygen. They're out there, people. Yeah. So that's something for you to think about. What do you think about the soul? So the soul, what do you think about what we don't want? Why? Okay, why do we think about what we don't want? I'll go into that and then I'll go into the soul. The reason why we think about what we don't want is because our mind wants to protect us from moving something it doesn't like. Now listen to this. Let me show you that, like that. When we have thoughts, we receive thoughts based on a vibration. We don't really create our thoughts. You may think like I'm imagining. What you have inside of you has all been downloaded. It's called your desire. So when you're just thinking of something or desiring something, that's coming from your downloaded blueprint. So when we receive thoughts, and we all do, we all receive like negative thoughts. We say, man, why am I receiving this negative thought? Why am I feeling so depressed? Why do I feel like I want to do this? Why don't I feel hopefulness? And all of a sudden, the next time you feel happy, you say, because we're on different channels of vibration. So whenever we receive these thoughts, okay, they create a vibration and then we tune into that. Now, the reason the mind wants you to focus on what you don't want, because these thoughts, if you get an empowering thought, it's not good to the mind. The mind says, no, 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 no. I don't know this. Remember what the mind wants to do. The mind wants to go to what it knows, which is the past. So the mind will remind us of the past. So it will concoct a past that and most of the past is what? Negative stuff. We don't have, be honest, guys, our past isn't filled with a lot of positive stuff, man. If it was, we'd all be living our best lives. It just doesn't work that way because we're in the matrix. So what happens is the mind developed this concoction to always show us the worst based on the past. It uses the negative stuff of the past and it creates its own image and says, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. And actually, about 99 or 98% of our worst fears, they don't manifest. What manifests is the emotional thing, is the anxiety, is the mind, the body feeling threatened and sweating, and you start to go into this cycle of negative thoughts. But if you understand like this stuff isn't really happening now, that's how you can get your mind out of that negative loop. But that's why the mind does that. Now let's talk about the soul. What is the soul? The soul is you. It's what you are. People call soul and spirit, they're the same thing. You have body, you have soul. Mind, okay? Mind is part of soul. So what happens is I break them up in this way. Let's talk about body. Body is the autonomous reaction of the nervous system. It's already a program in your DNA. Your body is going to react to certain stimuli and it's going to be recorded in the subconscious. You'll feel fear, you'll think of something, your body, you'll get up with night sweats and you wonder what happened. You may have traumatic stuff. You've all experienced that before. Maybe some of you are going through it right now, where it's very stressful in your life and you're just thinking to yourself, why is my body just every night waking me up at this time? I only get 3 hours of sleep. Then I wake up and then I go back to sleep again and then I get another 3 hours. And my body just never makes me go consistent. That means that there's something stressing the body. It happens to all of us, me too, all of us. We go through things in our life and then one night you get your full 6 hours, 5 hours, or 7 hours. That shows you the body is so tuned into itself. The mind now is a part of the consciousness which is connected to the soul. Now the soul is the authentic part of you. The mind is a part of the soul, but the mind is more into the ego part. That's what we use to decode, experience, and check out our reality. The soul knows all things. The soul knows that it is a spiritual, non-physical being experiencing a perceived physical world. So the body will always decay and go. The mind will go back and merge with the soul. The ego, because when the body decays, the frontal cortex of the brain, that also will go down, and the consciousness will go back to the originator of the soul. The soul, if you want to know what your soul is, it's your ability to be aware of self. It's your ability to experience, it's your ability to perceive. Soul knows no negative emotions. Soul is in a higher dimension. Your soul can't feel negative emotions because that's only connected in the 3D perspective, in the 3D world. You getting this, guys? Can you manifest healing in your body to reverse a diagnosis? Yes. You watched the last video I made I put it on Instagram. There's a young lady there. I think it was a Cynthia Stafford interview. She healed herself from IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. You know, that's an incurable thing. She did it with her mind. Your mind can do anything because remember, the mind interacts with the body. It's connected to the body. The mind tells the cells what to do. The cells listen to the mind. You know, the thing about the mind is that I'm noticing, like when we're going through stuff in our life, like ailment, sickness, or whatever you're going through, it may seem like there's no hope because you're experiencing it every day. You say, man, this thing ain't going to get better. But if you think about it, before you got it, things were good. So why can't you go back to being good? That's the trick. You got to convince the mind of that, and that's what the mind will fight you. The mind will say, no, no, no. Why does the mind fight you? Because the mind is seeing the same thing over and over. The mind doesn't see the change. That's where the struggle comes in. That's where the discipline comes in. That's where you have to focus on yourself and focus on the positive of healing, that it can be done. It may take what you call time, but that again is an illusion, right? So when like you say, oh, it's been 1 month, it's been 2 months, there's no improvement. It's been actually no time. 1 month, 2 months. If you start looking at things at 1 month, 2 months, it's going to create resistance. You're going to say, man, it's getting longer and longer. That's the battle. That's the balance to get the mind into the healing state, because the mind is always looking and saying, well, it shouldn't be healed by now. Shouldn't be do this. No. The body is going to heal when it's supposed to heal. You just have to keep your mind as optimistic or as positive on it as you can. And by doing that, that's when you'll see the great improvements in changing your life. Dr. Joe Dispenza proves power of the mind. Yeah, I think Joe Dispenza, didn't his daughter heal himself from like a back injury or something? I feel paranoid due to the past situation, so I assume my partner cheated or playing games. Will it naturally happen even if it isn't, or if it is? All right. Okay, so what we prepare against, we're going to attract. So if we're focusing on something negative and we just have this negative thing, we're inviting that. Now listen, it's not going to manifest instantly. But if we keep most of our attention on it, there's the potential that somewhere down the line it will manifest, because that's what we're feeding our subconscious. Subconscious is illogical. It's getting that information. It's thinking that's what we or you want or desire. So keep your mind only on what you want. Good news is you have to do a lot of negative thinking over a period of months and years for something to manifest like that. So you still got a lot of time to change. All right. Can I end the world after achieving enlightenment? I don't understand. What do you mean end the world? Mark, what are the first ways to make passive income? You have to see yourself make. So when it comes to wealth or money, they always say you got to be rich in the mind, and then you be rich in the 3D world. So how do you become rich in the mind? You have to be able to see yourselves doing these things. If you can't see yourself achieving what you want, then it's literally gonna be impossible. So with anything about passive income, money, anything you want to create in your life, you have to be able to see yourself doing. And what do you do with that? Visualization. Visualize. That's why I keep telling you guys, man. I said, art of visualizing should be your side job. You need to become good at visualizing. You need to practice, because that's what will change course for you. So to make anything in your life, first see it in the 3D, in the mind, in the mental, and then allow your mind to open the avenues for you by being open for the awareness, and also by, remember, it's normality. So those are the things that you can do. And you want to use affirmations. You want to do you want to target the subconscious. You know what I mean? The thing is, with the subconscious, okay, the two easiest ways: auto hypnosis, or go to like a hypnotherapist, or self hypnosis. You can hypnotize yourself, or go see a good hypnotherapist, Or you can use auto hypnosis. Auto hypnosis is the subliminals used nightly while you're sleeping. Those are very highly effective ways that you will change your subconscious. And you can there's so much things you can do. You can change it for like habits, stop smoking, feel more confident, feel more secure, feel move blocks. They're all in both ways. But you have to do it. You have to put work to do it. You have to repeat repetition. So if someone wants to adapt a new way of thinking, they have to focus their thoughts only on what they want. They have to repeat it every day. They have to use subliminals, and they have to affect it. Now, the more you focus on what you don't want, your subconscious is going to create that. The more you focus on what you do want, your subconscious is going to create that. Remember where this goes to? Our attention. Our attention. The thing about the mind is, when you're going to do something, the trick is to convince your mind that it's safe, that it's not a threat. If you can convince your mind that whatever you desire is no threat to you, the mind's going to calm down. The body's going to calm down. You're going to release the resistance. That's where like subliminals come in a lot, because that's what we face when we come to create our lives. The body feels these things are threats. That's why you get the fear and the panic in your stomach, because the body feels like you can't get it. It's not supposed to be you. So the trick is to convince the body that it's okay and it's safe. There's nothing going to happen. It's normal. And once you do that, it'll start to flow in. Okay? How often during the day do you need to do all of this? Look, it's not about often. It's more about quality versus quantity. It means how much time can you spend really on what you want. That's the key. I mean, during the day, our minds are always thinking of something. You can't stop your mind from thinking, but you can be aware of what your mind is thinking. That's what it's about. It's just having the awareness to pick and choose what thoughts you want in and what thoughts you want out. That's it. Once you do that, voila. What is the difference between subliminals and affirmations? Not a real difference. Subliminals more are hidden or masked. They can be spoken. Affirmations are just the same thing. They're just spoken out more. So, but the true difference is subliminals are below consciousness, so they're more masked. So that means they have affirmations in them, but you can't hear them. They're just hidden from the conscious, but the subconscious picks them up. That's why they're called subliminals. Affirmations are what you can hear directly out loud, speak it out loud, but they're all effective in the subconscious. And the best way to effectively get to the subconscious affirmations is by turning them into question formats, because question formats will help them. Okay. All right, what else we got? See how that works? What's the difference between we got the subliminals things, palms free? So it's what do you do after visualization to help it faster? No, you can't. There's nothing you're gonna speed up, because time is an illusion. Everything's gonna come in the correct or appropriate time for you. You're not gonna jump ahead, and you're not gonna just pop it in. Everything's already set up as a divine timing for you. It's divine time. Hey, thanks for the donation here. $10. What's this? Aquarian29. Do you like revision, and can we do the right way? So what do you script? So yeah, scripting is another way you can create. Do I script? I don't script, because I don't. The thing about manifesting, you have to find what works for you. Not saying that script doesn't work, but for me, it's more of a visual, or more of a auditory or a visual aspect. So what I do, I record like a video of myself saying my desires, and I'll watch it as if it already happened. Visually, I think about it. But scripting is very powerful as well, because writing things down has all the parts of your mind engaged in it. So yeah, scripting is a very powerful way. I know a lot of people script and it works the same, but it all goes to what's comfortable with you, what works best for you. Some people really good at scripting, some people really good at visualizing. So it's just, the manifesting thing, guys, when we're gonna create what we want, it's like a blueprint, man. It's something that we put out there, and then you go and tune it the best way you find possible for yourself, because that tuning is what's gonna help you to get that right. Hey Mark, thank you for the next donation, $10. Hey Mark, is 369 a synchronicity? I keep seeing it. Yeah, if you're seeing 369, that's a very powerful number. It means that you're highly connected and you're tuned to the universe, and the universe wants to tell you something and open you up. It's a sign of awakeness. Now, Nikola Tesla, 369 can be found in every aspect mathematic of the universe. So if you're seeing 369, more like you're a chosen one, man. They have 369 manifesting method. That means you're on point to manifest. You're a chosen one. Point blank. You're seeing 369. See how it works? The key is to get our minds focused, man. Focus, focus, focus. Mark, will you be starting your new quantum podcast? Hope it brings back with trustworthy people. So what I'm doing, that channel now, I'm just going to make it into more of the Deliberate Creator channel. Remember the Deliberate Creator channel? I got all those videos they took down. So I have all my audio. So I'm going to just make that channel into like the Deliberate Creator. So that channel will have all the videos and put stuff up there. My main channel, I'll do subliminals and I'll do some podcast episodes. So I'm going to vice versa. But I'm going to change it up a little. The universe just gave me the message, say, hey, this is how you should do it. And that's how I'm going to do it. So, I mean, on these lives, guys, on Instagram Live, it's like a podcast because I go on Instagram and you guys could drop in and ask questions there. So it's like we have a podcast going anyway. What's up, Mark? I won $1,500 at the casino yesterday. Congratulations. See, using your mind. Mark, do we need to take action? Can we do it without it? Nothing can ever come into your life without some sort of action. Right? But here's the interesting thing. Action usually is the last step. Everything is created and then action comes last. So what do we do? So what we want to create something. The secret is decide, project it, expect it. First thing. Then sit back, watch it behind the scenes. Nudge from the higher self. That's when you take action. That's called inspired action. So you always got to take some action, but action comes at the last part. The creative process, 99% of the creative process is complete before you and I see any physical evidence in our lives. Let me repeat that. 99% of the creative process is complete before we ever see any physical evidence. Can anyone answer? Can anyone tell me why? Because I just went over that. Let's see if you've been paying attention here. 99% of the creative process already complete. That means your desires, 99% of it is done. From the minute you decide, project, and start expect, it's done. 99%. Quantum physics shows us that. Let's think about it. I'm looking in the comments. Anybody can answer that. If your mind wavers, will it ruin things that you desire? No. Your mind is always going to waver, man. 99. That's right. Somebody got it here. Who's this here? Let me see. This is the Body Electric Supplement. Yeah, 5 dimension. Remember what I said earlier? I said the physical is remnants from the spiritual. Everything creates in the spiritual, the non-physical, then it emanates or transmute into the 3D world. So that means when I visualize something, that means when you're going to create something, I mean visualize it. If you go over and over, if you think about it or visualize it over and over again, a repetition, it's something that's an event in the non-physical world. And then when it comes to the non-physical world, it gets transmuted into the physical. So that's why 99%. So when you see something pops in the physical, you're just, the 1%. But it would already been completed. But that's what the mind can't see. See, that's what the mind can't see. That's why we have struggle with detachment and attachment, because the mind can't see that until it pops in. So just according to the ego, it's not happening. You're not moving. You say, "Oh man, I'm stuck. There's nothing happening in my life. I'm not creating. I'm not manifesting." But in reality, because you've been putting on it, focused on it, and you've been doing it, practically already manifested it. See how it works? So that's something to do, to think about. Do we reincarnate? Yes. Because in physics, in quantum mechanics, nothing can ever be created or destroyed. You and I, you and I, uh, our conscious, our awareness of who we are, it can only be transformed. So we've seen stories of reincarnation where people come back and actually won cases in court. In court, they came back and they described the person that did them in. Evidence, took them to the gravesite, took them to where the body is, and then they were prosecuted in courts. Kids are the first to remember their past lives or reincarnation lives. So we all experience this stuff. But this, like I said, this stuff is not going to be taught in the mainstream, man, because it goes against the Matrix, what the Matrix wants. See how it works? Mm-hmm. Yep. So it's, how do we revise? Revision comes about changing the story, your perception of the story. What is your story you're telling yourself? You can change your story at any time, because look, reality and our lives are just perceptions. They're really stories. It's just what we tell ourselves. It's what we're experiencing ourselves. It's like, if you tell yourself a certain story, the mind's going to buy into it, the subconscious is going to program it, and it's going to become your reality. So revision is about telling the story you want. If time is an illusion, then what's the point of quantum leaping? Well, linear time is an illusion. What quantum leaping does, quantum leap, it takes you to a coordinate. Excuse me. Time is this block. It's in this present moment. There are different coordinates here. So when you quantum leap, you go to a coordinate in the present moment, like over here. So you bypass the linear time. But the linear time is an illusion. But so that's what quantum leaping. Quantum leaping just takes you directly to the event that's already there in the present as a coordinate. Does that make sense? Hope you understand that. Mm-hmm. Got how it works? Could you manifest getting taller? I've seen it. People manifest change their eye colors. I've seen it. The body's amazing. The body, your body and mind is an amazing thing. It creates, my mind creates matter, man. So we have to remember that. It's our mind that creates the world. Because someone says, because we need to collapse the quantum particles first before it becomes real. Yeah, yeah, that's what we do. And that comes to our conscious mind. Mark, can you remind us that if nothing is happening or you don't see how it's going to happen, to remain calm? Yes, because when I said this, okay, the body is going to panic. That's what it does. When you don't see something, it's going to be reminded. You're going to get anxiety, heart racing, sweat. That's the body response. So you have to convince your body that it's safe. How do you convince your body that it's safe? It's okay. By being grateful, by keep your mind focused on something positive, by talking to the body. Because the point is, the mind, the conscious mind can't see behind the scenes. And the body is looking at the conscious mind. So that's the key. And so the biggest thing is, gotta have faith, man. Gotta have faith. It's going to happen. It's going to improve. Without faith, it's going to be difficult. How to win the lottery using the subconscious mind. That's my book. You go get that. It shows you how to do it. If my intuition is telling me to stop visualizing, does it mean my manifestation is about to solidify? I've stopped visualizing and I'm seeing. Yes, usually that's the thing about the mind. When it knows something is getting ready to come in, the body will give you clues to shut down, to shut off. Basically, tell you like you won't feel motivated to visualize. And that usually means it's done. It's the process now of transmuting. It's in that flux. It's coming in from the 5 to the 3D, and you're about to experience it. So that's a natural thing. So don't force anything if you don't feel natural. Okay? About detachment. The owner of the grocery store I used to go to told me that when we gamble at the casino, he doesn't care he loses or not. He's just there to have fun. I mean, that's what it should be about. Fun. It's all about fun, guys. The thing about this world, this reality we live in, it's, it's not what it's not what happens. People say happens to us. It's what happens for us is a teaching moment. But it's most important thing is not the stuff that happens in your life to you. Just to say, it's how you interpret what happens in your life. It's how you view it. How you view it and your interpretation of it will have an effect on how you live your life. Point blank. So reality comes down to what again, guys? Perception. Mark, results stop coming in after listening to subs. How to do permanent results forever? You gotta keep listening to subs. Results are not gonna stop if you listen to subs. The only way to stop if you listen to the wrong subs are not in this format. But the subliminals, they take time. They're gonna take 90 days to get to your subconscious mind, right? How do you focus on good if it's not reflected in reality? You focus on the good by gratitude. Being grateful. There's a lot of things you can be grateful for. There's a lot of stuff going on in our lives. But the act of being grateful will set our lives in motion. It will change things in our perception. Yeah, perception is everything. Unleashing what you've been taught. That's correct, guys. I love your book, Mark. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, it's not necessary to take action every day. Action is the last step. You'll know when to take action, man. Okay, Mark, can you talk more about the 0 point in manifestation? Neutrality is key to create critical mass. Yeah, the 0 point is that point where all things come together. It's a field of energy. 0 point energy field, like space and everything is, there's nothing empty. There's particles of energy. Like you and I, 99.9% we're empty space. So we're not even here. So we've been projected somewhere else. If you think about it, skin color, all that stuff, illusions, energy, vibration, we see things by our brain. But there's a fact, it's a scientific fact, that the stuff that make us are invisible, practically. So how can we be visible? Visibility is an illusion, it's perception, the trickery of the mind based on frequency and vibration. So in that field is where things come into existence. And once we can visualize, and once we can adapt or adopt to that field, that's where our manifestation comes in. And that's what I asked me with the speed manifestation. It's not speed, but it's a perception to see it maybe faster or speeding up, but it's not actually speeding up. You're just actually tuned to it. You see, the secret about this stuff is not attracting it. It's like getting in tune with it. Once you can come in tune with what you want or desire, that's when it pops into your 3D. So it's about the attunement or tuning into that stuff. That's where the vibration and frequency come. Because we are all electromagnetic beings. You got it, yeah, that's right, World Burger. You got to tune in. So it's all about tuning. You believe that drawing things you want will manifest? Yes, that's a part of the visualization process. Tuning in to your desires is the secret to do this stuff. We spend so much time talking about, well, I gotta go manifest, I gotta go do, you don't really have to do that. All you gotta do is just tune in. I mean, decide what you want, know what you want, and allow your mind to tune into that stuff. Let it come into your life by placing yourself in the state of allowance, in state of neutrality. Gotta be neutral. Neutrality is the best state to manifest. Peace and neutrality. Because you can easily change the trajectory. You can easily tune. Your body will get into that state. Everything will come in once you learn to tune in. Right? What is the easiest and efficient way of manifestation? I just said it. By being in a state of neutrality and peace. By understanding and knowing that this thing is normal. It's for you to get. You're going to receive it. And it's your birthright. And then not to be attached, to just expect to know that what you project will come in with repetition. That's the easiest way to manifest, is to just get yourself to tune up by convincing your mind that it's normal, subconscious mind, and that don't get your emotions too high or too low. Stay neutral, stay peace, because in that state you don't have any resistance. If you don't have any resistance, voila. See how it works? Resistance is the biggest blocker of our manifestation, man. Because resistance creates doubt. It creates all this negative thing we talk about: anxiety, stress, depression, nervousness, fear. All those stuff come with resistance, because resistance tells us that we aren't capable, we don't deserve it, or we won't have it. And then, we're all human beings. We're here to experience things, and we want to be fulfilled and happy and feel good. And we're getting this thing that says we're not going to get it happy. So your mind's going to race, and you're going to feel panic. So you got to convince the mind that it's normal, it's natural, it's don't make anything bigger than you. And a big tip too is, remember, never make anything bigger than you. Your desires should never be bigger than you. If you're manifesting something and it's bigger than you, you're gonna have issues manifesting. You're gonna have issues manifesting, because then it says you're separate from it. You cannot be separate from something you entangle with. That's going to create the discord, and that's going to create the resistance. So you got to make sure that, okay, it's normal. Normality is my secret. And once you get that in, that's when you'll see the big change. See how it works, guys? Neutrality, guys, neutrality. So now you understand. Thank you guys for tuning in. Great questions. This is a great live session. And I'll catch you guys again. See you.